Hey everybody, Francis here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about the very first time that I played D&D. So I believe that the year was 2016, or late fall of 2016 to early 17. I was hanging out with my friends from an organization called Heads Up Display. It was a Texas Tech organization where, every week we would record YouTube videos and play games, have fun, and it was a great way for me to meet friends and to, kind of do something else other than engineering schoolwork. And honestly, that was probably one of the greatest times and highlights of my college life. But one day, me and 6 other guys from the group, I believe 5 to 6 other guys from our group, and we all wanted to play D&D. I had absolutely no idea what was happening, and my DM at the time, his name is Jeremy, and Jeremy, if you're watching this, shout out to you, buddy, because we played at the time our first session where each of us were level 1, and I was playing a half-orc warlock named Kragar. That's the name. Ha ha ha. I do remember things. Kragar was probably the most, as my first character, I wanted him to be very, traditional, stereotypical orc. I think that year the movie for World of Warcraft came out, so that was sort of my inspiration behind Kragar, and I was super excited. It was the first time I made a character, had dice. I started, like a video game, picking out spells for level ups, and we didn't make it past level 3. But we did a ton of things wrong now that I'm, looking back at it. When we leveled up from levels 1 to 3, we didn't raise our maximum health. So I think after level 2, we didn't add our modifiers. We just did like straight rolls or like a flat number, which was awful because when a new player came in and they were this level, they had much more health than we did, and it was awful on our side. The people who stayed for the whole campaign since the beginning just kept dying, or not dying and losing their characters, but just kept going unconscious, and that was at the time super fun. Part of the reason why I want to say this is because we as players, I think, take for granted the idea of what it was like when we first played D&D and how amazing it was to roll a nat 20, because now in my campaign, sometimes natural 20s are less yelled about and more just, I rolled a 20, that's great. But, I miss the times when everyone would just like, natural 20, and then shout and cheer, and the whole table would be cheering for them. That was probably the best times. And funny enough, Michael, who plays Etan in the second campaign and the Marcus in the first campaign, he was one of the players with me. He is playing a ranger at the time. I forgot his name, but essentially there was a player who was here only temporarily, and he left. I forgot everything else about that character. But Michael, as a person, he couldn't play either, so he had to leave too. And Kragar and Michael's character were developing this bromance of, we're friends, let's work together. You have my back, I have yours, I'll wait for you to come back. So Michael's character decided to bring that character and meet up with Kragar after that delivery escort mission. And that character Kragar would be waiting at the tavern for Michael's character to come back. And that was the end of our campaign. We ended it super early because of outside reasons, and at this point, it is essentially a meme whenever I introduce Kragar as just a random NPC, is that he's still drinking at the tavern, waiting for his best friend at the time that respected him to come back, and so they can go on more adventures. And that's probably one of the fondest memories I have of D&D, because, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. For some reason, I thought Witch Bolt required a crossbow. That's what my DM told me. That's what me and my DM agreed upon, and yes, it was a little bit clunky, but it happened. We didn't know what we were doing, but we had fun, and that was the biggest concept that I really wanted to incorporate in anything that I play D&D, you know, because we all play the game in different ways, and as long as I am having fun, whether that's making a very heavy storytelling character, whether that is making YouTube videos like this one and streaming and recording my campaign for the internet, I wanted to have fun. That was probably one of the launching points to starting the podcast, starting this YouTube channel, starting the Tales YouTube channel, and everything that happened afterwards. So that was the first time that I played D&D. So thank you for reaching the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please let me know down in the comments down below, what was your first time in playing D&D? I am very interested to see what were people's first experiences, whether it's the DM where I threw a dragon at them and I TPK'd them, or the player that said, oh, I didn't have any cantrips, so I just whacked monsters and zombies with my quarterstaff. I'm very interested, so please let me know down in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.